to the LinkUps, a video series connecting the Muslim community to each other by sharing its voices. And I'm your host, Attiqa Syeda. I know we are a few minutes late today, and we would like to sincerely apologize for that. We are having some technical difficulties. Therefore, we were a little bit delayed in starting our program by 3 minutes today. We also were having a little bit of a technical issue getting our guest speaker on today. So I do have some sad news to share that our guest speaker won't be able to join us for the Sanad LinkUps this afternoon. However, we will be actually addressing a question. We received a question from one of the Sanad Prep student's mother actually, that reached out to me, who watched the first video, really enjoyed it. Her name is Sister Safia Ali, and she's the mother of Sumaya. So thank you so much, Sister Safia, for reaching out to us and for asking the question that you did. So for those of you who are watching that were hoping to have the guest, hear the guest today, heartfelt apologies to all of our viewers that we will unfortunately not have our guest speaker today. But I will be speaking to you very briefly about a question that Sanad Prep parent reached out to me and asked me to answer a question. So bear with me. I'm going to read you the question that she reached out to me. She mentioned if we can address a topic on discipline. She says, since the lockdown, I've been homeschooling 3 other children, and some of the ways my day functions properly is through organized activities, routine, and encouraging good behavior. She mentioned that every child is different. A discipline technique that works for one child may not work for another child. She has one child that she mentions she's been having some disciplinary issues with, and she would appreciate if we could touch on the topic of child discipline and how to help children manage their emotions and simple techniques that can help reinforce positive behavior within children. So we really wanted to actually spend a little bit more time on addressing this. We were hoping actually to introduce a new section called So You Asked, and we're hoping to address questions like this in that section. So the question that you are asking with regards to discipline is at the heart and core of what Sanad does for our children, which is good adab, having good adab, and what it means to have good adab. So I 100% agree with you, Sister Safia, that each child is very different, and the techniques that you will use with each child will be very different. Since you asked for very practical advice, obviously I'm speaking in my professional capacity as an educator for the past 1 decade. That I've personally have been involved in the area of education for the past 1 decade, dealt with children from VPK all the way to high school, actually. And you're absolutely right that discipline and dealing with children and behavior issues or emotional issues is not a very easy thing. Practical tips with regards to this issue. The first and most important advice that I have to offer to you is we have to be good listeners. When it comes to adab, adab begins with listening. Listening to what? Listening to the cues and who is in front of you that you're trying to instill good behavior in. Without having a very clear understanding and without being able to listen to what is it that you're dealing with regards to the child that is in front of you, you're not going to be able to help that child walk towards any positive behavior. So my practical advice to you, you did not mention the age of this child, so I'm not in a position to really give you specific advice on how to listen to this child. But what I would ask, depending on how old this child is, if they are old enough, if, for example, they're in elementary school, I would encourage you to have a conversation with this child and listen to them. Look at their behavior cues. Why are they acting out? What are some of the things that is evoking the outburst in their behavior? There can be a variety of factors that can affect children, depending on even their age their age range. A variety of different issues can affect them. So I would encourage you to begin with having a conversation with this child, listen to them, see what may be bothering them. If they're old enough and they're talking, then it may be as simple as having a very honest conversation with them about what is it that's bothering them, what is it that's on their mind, before we can expect children to cooperate and follow our instructions and display good behavior. It's really important that they be clear about what that behavior actually is and understand its importance and its significance and why they're being asked to display that behavior. And believe it or not, that in order to get to that step, you have to begin with listening to that child, listening to what may be causing that behavior. So, as a practical tip, my recommendation and a very practical advice to you would be to begin right there. Have a conversation with this child, maybe understand a little bit more about their familial situation, siblings, parents, their eating and sleeping habits, their routine, their schedules, and things like that. And once you begin to identify all of this information about the child, it will become a little bit clear about, what are their needs, what may be causing this particular tick in their behavior where they're acting out and they are refusing to cooperate with you according to the behavior that you have, expectation that you have of them. So, again, a very round way of saying basically to listen to that child. Sometimes we underestimate the power and importance of listening. Listening can open up doorways, not just in our ability to understand other people's behavior when they're young, but even as adults. So my advice and my recommendation to you would be to begin there. Listen to the needs of that child. Try to pay attention to why they may be acting out in the behavior that they are, and then have a frank conversation with that child about what expectations you have of them, why you have those expectations of them. Role modeling is a very, very important and a powerful tool that adults have that they can use and employ. Role modeling will always impact a child, but it will begin with you being able to listen to that child, you being able to communicate the expectations that you have of the behavior that you expect for them to display. And then once those two things are taken care of, listening and carefully and understanding what may be causing that behavior, and having a communication with them and explaining to them what may be leading to that behavior, I think you'll be able to, you'll be on your way to understanding how you can set those expectations for that child and get them to cooperate with you. Inshallah, we will resume tomorrow with our guest speaker who will be joining us all the way from Tampa. We will have Sister Sadia Sohail join us all the way from Tampa for a very brief interview. Obviously, I'm really sad that we weren't able to speak with her today. I was really excited and looking forward to speaking with her, but we do hope that you join us, inshallah, tomorrow to have a wonderful conversation with Sister Sadia about her children, her views on education, her dreams and goals for her children and their future, inshallah. So I would also like to add here, before I conclude, that if you would like a family member or a friend or yourself to be a part of this video series of LinkUps, then please contact me. You can contact me at my personal email address. My first name, ATTIQA, @sanatrust.org. We encourage you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and reach out to us with any questions that you may have. And if you have, would you like to recommend a guest speaker for our video series? We welcome that input as well. We hope to see you, inshallah, tomorrow live on Facebook and YouTube, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Sister Sadia Sohail. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.